The morning mist hangs low over the mountains of feudal Japan. Cherry blossoms drift silently through the cold air. You kneel on a woven mat inside a wooden house. In front of you rests your katana. You carefully lift it with both hands. Today, you may have to use it, not because you want to, but because your lord commands it. As a samurai, your life doesn't belong to you. It belongs to your master. One mistake, one moment of dishonor, and you could lose everything, even your own life. Welcome to feudal Japan. Today, you are a samurai. When most people think of samurai, they imagine fearless warriors, masters of the sword, heroes fighting for justice. Movies often portray them as noble legends who lived glamorous lives. But reality was far more complicated. Behind the polished armor and legendary katanas was a world built on discipline, sacrifice, and absolute loyalty. Being a samurai wasn't simply about learning to fight. It meant dedicating your entire existence to a strict code that demanded honor above life itself. Today, let's step into the sandals of a samurai and discover what your life would really have been like in medieval Japan. Unlike many professions, becoming a samurai usually wasn't a choice. You were born into it. From the moment you could walk, your family expected one thing: you would become a warrior, while other children spent their days playing. Your childhood revolved around discipline. You learned respect before strength, patience before violence. Your parents constantly reminded you that your actions reflected not only yourself, but your entire family. Failure wasn't simply embarrassing, it dishonored generations. The pressure began almost as soon as you could speak. As you grow older, your training becomes relentless. Every morning begins before sunrise. You practice swordsmanship, archery, horseback riding, spear fighting, and hand-to-hand combat. But physical strength isn't enough. You also study poetry, calligraphy, philosophy, and history. This surprises many people. Samurai weren't expected to be mindless warriors. An educated samurai was considered a better leader. A calm mind could win battles long before swords were drawn. Still, your instructors show little mercy. Every mistake earns criticism. Every weakness is exposed, because one day, those mistakes could cost your life. Everything in your life revolves around one idea: Bushidō, the way of the warrior. Although the code evolved over centuries, it emphasized values such as honor, loyalty, courage, self-control, honesty, duty. Your reputation becomes more valuable than your possessions, more valuable than comfort, sometimes more valuable than life itself. Breaking your word could destroy your standing forever. Cowardice was worse than death. To modern people, this seems extreme. But in feudal Japan, your honor was your identity. Lose it, and you lost everything. Unlike kings in Europe, Japan was ruled by powerful feudal lords known as daimyō. As a samurai, your loyalty belongs entirely to one lord. If he calls, you go. If he commands, you obey, even if the order sends you into certain death. Imagine waking one morning and learning your lord has declared war. You don't debate. You don't negotiate. You gather your armor, you say goodbye to your family, and you march. Whether you return is no longer your decision. Contrary to popular belief, you don't spend every day fighting. Much of your life is surprisingly ordinary. You oversee land, collect taxes, train younger warriors, study military strategy, practice your skills. Some samurai become administrators and advisors instead of battlefield soldiers. Peace can last for years, but even during peaceful times, your sword is never far away, because violence can arrive without warning, and you must always be prepared. And honestly, imagine living every single day knowing your reputation matters more than your survival. That's an incredible amount of pressure. If you're enjoying this journey into feudal Japan, subscribe for more immersive stories about dark history, mythology, forgotten civilizations, and the extraordinary realities of human life throughout history. Then, war finally comes. The battlefield is nothing like the legends. Mud covers your sandals. Arrows darken the sky. War drums thunder across the valley. You hear horses screaming, men shouting, steel crashing against steel. Fear grips every soldier. Even experienced samurai know they may never see another sunrise. Victory depends on discipline, formation, timing, not dramatic duels. Real warfare is chaotic, messy, terrifying, and once battle begins, there is no turning back. Few weapons are more famous than the samurai's katana. To you, it isn't simply a sword. It represents your soul. You care for it constantly, cleaning the blade, inspecting every detail, keeping it razor sharp. Forged by skilled craftsmen, a katana takes months to create. Losing your sword is unthinkable. Using it carelessly brings shame. The blade is a symbol of responsibility, not violence, because a samurai understands that drawing a sword should always be the last resort. Every samurai lives with one unavoidable truth: death is always nearby. You may die in battle protecting your lord, during an ambush defending your family. Bushidō teaches you to accept this. Fearing death clouds judgment, accepting it brings clarity. This mindset makes samurai terrifying opponents, not because they wanted to die, but because they refused to let fear control them. Perhaps the most misunderstood part of samurai life is seppuku. If a samurai committed a grave offense or suffered unbearable dishonor, he might perform ritual suicide to restore his family's honor. To modern audiences, this seems shocking. And it was. Seppuku was never casual. It was an act surrounded by ceremony, witnesses, and immense emotional weight. Many samurai spent their entire lives trying to avoid ever facing such a choice. The very existence of the ritual shows how deeply honor shaped every aspect of their world. Although history often focuses on battles, your family remains central to your life. You teach your children discipline. Your wife manages the household while you're away. Every victory brings pride. Every defeat affects everyone. A samurai never carries responsibility alone. His family shares both his honor and his hardships. When war calls, they wait. Sometimes for months, sometimes forever. Centuries pass. Japan changes. Firearms become more common. Political power shifts. Eventually, the age of the samurai begins to fade. Many become government officials, teachers, police officers. Others struggle to adapt. The warrior class that once shaped Japan slowly disappears, but its ideals survive. Honor, discipline, loyalty. Even today, the image of the samurai continues to inspire people around the world. Being a samurai wasn't about chasing glory. It wasn't endless sword fights beneath cherry blossoms. It was a lifetime of discipline, duty, sacrifice. Every decision carried consequences. Every action reflected your honor. And every sunrise reminded you that your life belonged not only to yourself, but to your family, your lord, and the code you had sworn to follow. The samurai became legendary not because they were perfect, but because they spent their lives striving toward an impossible ideal. And perhaps that's why their story still captivates us centuries later. If you enjoyed this journey into feudal Japan, subscribe for more immersive stories about ancient civilizations, forgotten history, mythology, legendary warriors, and the extraordinary realities of human life throughout time. And tell me in the comments, if you lived in a feudal Japan, would you embrace the life of a samurai, or would you choose the quieter life of a farmer? See you in the next story.